Sean, let's talk about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
War, it's not what you want. There must be another way.
War has already begun.
So, everyone, welcome to another Rule Thirds review. Today we're talking about a summer blockbuster with a little bit more emphasis on plot and characters, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the sequel to the 2011 reboot, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So, with a blockbuster that's so focused on plot, why don't we just start off with it? Sean, tell me, what did you think about the plot of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Well, I'd say that most of it was dedicated to just building up tension between the humans and the apes. And that works. I think that definitely worked. There was tension there, and, it broke at certain times, at good times, and that worked all well. And I was definitely interested in what was going to happen, and I want to make that clear, because a little later I'll bring up a big point. I want to make it clear that I was interested, I did care what was going to happen.
I agree. I also liked how balanced the story was. It wasn't just about those, the apes, the smart apes, taking down the pesky humans. No, it was a very, balanced story that, gave both pros and cons to both sides. It was a very balanced and fair observation of a very kind of outlandish conflict, and I really appreciated that.
Definitely. Now, my biggest problem with the movie, I'm glad I'm going to just get it off right off the bat, it has to do with plot. I don't think the pacing was bad, but it was weak. I think it was pretty weak pacing. Really? The first 2/3 of the movie
you think it was too slow?
Yeah, the first 2/3, a little slow, a little repetitive at times. It just kind of kept building up the tension. It just kind of got old. And then the last third, the biggest problem, they pulled a double climax. I thought the film was right about to end. It kept going for another 20-25 minutes. I don't think that's a good thing.
Really?
But yeah, it felt a little two climaxes was a bit much.
That's interesting. So, Sean, of course, a part of the plot is the characters, and we're talking both humans and apes. And what did you think about these characters, humans and apes?
Starting with the apes, I think the highlight is obviously Caesar and Koba. I loved Caesar's arc in this film. Of course, we can't spoil kind of what his arc is because it's heavy spoilers there. But I loved seeing him in power. It's exactly what I wanted to see after the end of Rise. That the potential of where we left the character was completely lived up to. That also applies to Koba. Where we left him in the previous film, that was followed through. It felt very natural, and it was great to see both those characters have such importance and such weight to them.
I would agree. I would also say that I found the apes, I guess, monkeys? Whatever.
Apes.
I found them more compelling than the humans, but the humans were also very, well-developed characters as well. We have a very, this is not, two different archetypes. We have two very three-dimensional groups of different species, and I find that they were all very well-written. I love Caesar. I think he's a great presence. I think he's a great lead character to root for and whatnot, and he's not, he's conflicted, he's very much multi-dimensional, and I find that very impressive.
I disagree with you on the humans, though. I think they're kind of forgettable, the human characters. The apes are such strong characters, so maybe it's just comparing the two, but they do feel a little forgettable, and I think my biggest problem with the human characters is that they don't feel refined. They felt like, how would a person act in this post-apocalyptic world? That's how they act. It didn't feel like, how would this person act? It felt kind of general, people act this way. I didn't get a sense of who they were. I just got a sense of they're a person in this extreme scenario. So I don't think they were that strong of human characters, but the apes did make up for them.
Okay, alright, that's fair enough. Of course, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is a blockbuster, which means that there are a lot of intense action sequences, and I will go first. I think the best part that summarizes my thoughts on the action for me is there was a point in the movie where there is a monkey riding a horse and firing off machine guns at either monkeys or humans, and I totally bought it.
Yeah.
There was no point where I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I totally understood it, all contextually. It was there wasn't a single point where I'm like, this is kind of weird. No, I totally got it. I totally bought it, and I was totally engaged.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. This is a really intense movie with its action. This action can get really intense, and it's brutal and it's chaotic, and that surprised me because, like you said, a monkey riding on a horse with like an AK-47, it's surprisingly realistic and grounded action. And it's very impressive in that regards. And yeah, I totally bought it.
For a movie about apes trying to, like with a war with humans, you have to make it look both like kind of science fiction and also sort of believable. And I think they totally did that especially with the monkeys, the apes, the chimps, the whatever. Of course, one of the big draws of the Planet of the Apes reboot series is the visual effects on display. Rise was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards because of this, and it was... Yeah, like the motion capture in Rise, I don't think was there yet. But what did you think about the motion capture and the visual effects here, Sean?
Simply outstanding. Some of the best special effects I've ever seen. Might even be the best. Just the apes look so real and so well detailed and well animated. You can see exactly what's going on, even in just their eyes. It's brilliant, and part of that is the motion capture performances, which of course were great. But amazing special effects, I would say. Definitely an improvement from Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I don't think they were there yet with Rise, but I think they definitely pulled it off here. I also, and for both movies, I really do like how focused the visual effects were on, like, creating a character that was, creating, monkeys and whatnot that acted like they were actual apes and whatnot. I think it was very detailed in that regard. I think it was, a lot of research. They weren't just, like, apes that had motion capture, like, how they moved, how they acted. I don't know if that's how actual chimps, apes, orangutans, whatever, move, but I would totally believe it if you told me that was how it worked. So, Sean, do you have any additional comments on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
I have one, and the cinematography was great. I really noticed it, a lot of amazing shots, and it actually has one of my favorite shots of the year. It's one of my favorite shots I can remember, recent films, and I call it the 360 tank shot. You'll know it when you see it. It's an outstanding shot.
It's good.
I absolutely love it. So watch for the 360 tank shot. It's amazing.
For me, I actually don't have an additional comment. So, with that in mind, Sean, tell me, what do you think of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes as a whole?
Well, my thesis, I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is one of the more sincere and thoughtful blockbusters of the year, of the past few years actually, and the Focus Caesar is both technologically impressive and emotionally engaging. However, the poor pacing really did rob the film of greatness, and that's a shame, because I really, really enjoyed it, but I could not shake some of the frustration that brought. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes gets a 7.5 out of 10.
Really? Alright. For me, both a viscerally compelling roller coaster and just a brilliant drama about the nature of intelligence itself, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes shapes up as one of the best movies of the year. And for me, it gets a 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. You just dropped a 9.5 bomb. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I honestly didn't have much of a problem with this movie at all.
Wow, that really shocked me.
Much of a flaw I could point out. Anyway, so that's our review. Hopefully you agree or disagree with us. Make sure to leave a comment discussing your thoughts on Dawn. Remember, in a few weeks, we're actually going to be tackling the next big sci-fi summer blockbuster, Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm really excited for. So until then, stay classy. I'm Max.
And I'm Sean.
See you guys next time. And make sure to check out rulethirds.com for more fun.